Welcome back to Fre Emblem. Time to take on a quest. We gotta go rescue these kids' ring from a fortress or something. But yeah, as far as I know, these side quests don't actually have an effect on the plot. It's just that you get extra items and fight more people and get more experience as a result, that kind of thing. So basically, you probably won't want to do them, I'd imagine, because you're probably going to end up really underpowered if you don't. But who knows? I mean, there are games that punish you for getting powerful. Final Fantasy VIII can't level up or everything just gets too powerful. But yeah, it's time for Chapter 7X. It's crazy, in Fre Emblem Awakening, the X chapters, the paralogs I believe they're called, pretty much doubles the length of the game. It goes from, like, what's it, 20 something, 30 chapters I think it is, all the way to like 50 something, and then there's all the DLC and stuff too. The character on the left doesn't look quite evil enough, same with the person on the right, honestly. Neither of these people look all that evil, but they're supposed to be evil. I guess they don't look that youthful and full of energy, but I don't know. But yeah, Fre Emblem Awakening's DLC. Honestly, I haven't bought any, but it is good DLC in my opinion. They didn't start making it until after the game was finished. It's not that expensive, and it seems like they put a decent effort into it. Plus, it's constantly updated, and whenever a new thing of DLC comes out, some free DLC comes, like a special weapon or something like that, or even sometimes a special map. So, yeah, I don't know, for a first foray into like a big DLC plan, it's a pretty good one, I gotta say. And actually, in Fre Emblem Awakening, you can get classic characters, including Lindis and such, and they can fight alongside you. They don't really have anything special about them, though, unfortunately. Well, they can't talk with anyone or anything. And honestly, that's really more what I play Fre Emblem for. I don't really care much about the gameplay. It's fun, but if that was all there was, I don't think I'd play it. But that's just me. But I like how she's like, oh yes, if you fail, then I will punish you, except that failure in this situation means he will die. So yeah, right off the bat, hide behind a locked door. Alright, you're really gonna risk a whole bunch of people's lives just to rescue a ring? Well, defend them well armed. Well, maybe they'll drop like a steel sword or something. But yeah, I like how now they're trying to say, oh no, don't bother doing it right. We're actually here. We divert our path all the way to go over here instead. Yes, I do believe we can do this. Yeah, not made lately at all. Let's go with that. Honestly, yeah, it wasn't made very lightly because I was really paranoid because they said you can't go back and all that. And I was worried it'd be like insanely difficult because, I don't know, it just seems like a weird decision. You can only do it at one point in the story, but it's also way more difficult than the main story. Like, these kinds of things are usually saved for, like, people who can grind a bit at least, or something like that. Like, if it was in Sacred Stones, where you can actually stop on the world map and grind against enemies, sure, but I don't know, in this case, it's not really, it doesn't really seem fair. I guess it's supposed to test your strategy powers or something, I don't know, but there's not so much you can do if your enemies are all one-shotting you. Oh well. Yeah, now they're kind of explaining the gimmick of this map. There's lots of narrow corridors and such. Yeah, they're making two little strategic little notes here. You can either rush in and try and overpower them, or you can be sneaky and lure each one out one by one and take them out. Honestly, I don't think that this map needs that much strategy. Anyways, yeah, I don't really use Wrath or Dorcas, and I do find Nils really helpful, so I swapped out for them. But yes, lots of walls and such around here, so you're going to want to make use of that. So actually, yeah, a good reason to keep Dorcas around would be so you can use hand axes for ranged combat. But he's too slow. Now, there's a bit of a timing element, I'll get into that a bit later. Just a little minor thing. I think Lucius might be a bit overpowered right now. Anyways, you can see over there is a broken wall, so there's actually quite a few routes you can take in this as well, so yeah, there's quite a few different possibilities with this stage. As per usual, axe types are really pathetically inaccurate, and then they don't even do that much damage either. Yeah, you do want to keep a thief around, but there's not, when you don't have a treasure chest or something to open, then it's not really easy to figure out what to do with them. But this is easily the trickiest map currently available. I'm sure it gets harder at the end of the game, but yeah, as it stands, it's kind of a tricky map, but the thing is the enemies aren't really all that powerful, so yeah. Remember, always play music every turn. Now those stairs, I don't think it happens in this stage, but a lot of times those will actually spawn more enemies in unless you stand on top of them. But yeah. Stupid Cavalier stat growths. But yeah, look at this. The room is like severely cleared out now because of this. Unfortunately, physical attackers can kind of get wedged in like this, and that can be a problem. But they're not that powerful, so don't worry about it too much. And yeah, I like that. After going through that gate and locking the door behind him, the first thing the thief does is goes and attacks directly after, or not attacks, what am I talking about? Goes and opens the door that he just closed. Heal whenever possible too, as usual. That's like the two main things. Attackers, you basically just have to wait until you can attack, but anyone who can use on your allies, just do it. Because you gotta level up. Kind of got an awkward wedge situation here. Yay, level up. Looking at this board now, probably made more sense for me to send in Florina to attack the knight and then give him my second turn from Niels to Will to finish him off with a bow, but what are you gonna do? There's nice little flourishes that the animations add that really make these little battle scenes worth watching. Like if this was done in like the style of a classic Final Fantasy or something like that, where it's just static images and maybe 2 frames of animation, this would be a huge pain for me to watch, honestly. And I guess now is as good as time as any to note that there are ways to disable those animations, but in my opinion it just makes things look less interesting. Yeah, it's kind of repetitive to watch those animations over and over again, but honestly, they're really good animations, so yeah. But yeah, this is going out unlocking all the doors. And in case you haven't noticed yet, it's trying to get towards that treasure chest to steal the treasure, because that's what thieves can do in this game. Thieves. But yeah, this little knight thing, the Black Fang Knight Lance thing, has a really nasty habit of retreating and healing. It's really obnoxious. Yeah, it's always worth your time to check ahead a bit sometimes to see if an enemy can actually get in range of your character, because one of the benefits of ranged combat is that you can avoid damage, especially if you're careful. You can lure everyone out and then just pick them off. But if you need to, you can always do this too and make a shield, which is also another way of handling things. It won't protect your ranged character from another ranged character, but it does create a buffer for those pesky physical attackers that can eliminate pretty much any ranged attacker in the game, as far as I know. Yeah, I think the key thing to this whole map is to divvy up your units carefully. The more properly you divvy them up, the more efficiently you'll be able to take everything out. So Nils and I already forget her name. girl version of Nils, they both are acknowledged as children, and it's like, oh, they can't do anything. Linda's asked if they can fight, so obviously in this world it's not really that unexpected for a kid to be able to fight and such, and I don't know, I guess join in the war. But it's weird because they don't make that big a deal about Florina. Maybe Florina is supposed to be like older or something like that. She is part of like an order of knights. I don't know, it's all so weird, anime. This knight seriously reminds me of like gym leaders and stuff in Pokemon who constantly will heal their Pokemon just before you're about to take them out. And this thief pilfered a hammer. Oh no. But look, you can steal, and you can take a lockpick. So who is the real winner here? So yeah, there's an example of the steal command with thieves. They can steal things, usually lockpicks. It's not as great as it sounds. But yeah, there's a way to get the hammer too. See, when a thief steals something, it's still up for grabs. All you have to do is kill the thief. That critical hit animation, so cool. Yay, hammer! Hammers are like axes, only they're even more powerful and even less accurate. So in my eyes, they're not that useful. I actually do believe hammers are effective against, what are they called? Heavy armored characters though, yeah. Seems to be a lot of units are powerful against heavy armor. But then again, heavy armor is pretty overpowered against anyone who's not strong against them, so I guess it's supposed to be like a risk-reward type class, maybe? Must destroy a wall, must complete everything in the game. Leave no wall unbroken. I know that archers wouldn't make good melee attackers, but is it really fair to say that they're completely useless? Like, I don't know, it seems like... even if someone's at point blank range, they could still just fire an arrow that close, couldn't they? I'd imagine with some types of bows, maybe it wouldn't have that as much force, but even then, like, it's like saying, oh, you have a gun, you can only use it from far away. In fact, I'd imagine that a point-blank arrow in a lot of situations would be a really effective weapon. I don't know what the actual calculation is for determining how much magic affects healing and stuff like that. Honestly, I don't know the calculation for any damage in Fire Emblem, but it's especially nebulous with healing, because it's supposed to be more of a specific thing. Like, there are upgrades of healing spells and stuff like that, even though health doesn't go up anywhere near as quickly as, say, like Final Fantasy or something like that. Like, I don't know what the actual max HP is in Fire Emblem, but as you see when you level up, it only goes up by like 1 point. There are only very rare situations where it goes up by more than that. At least in Sacred Stones. Again, I don't know in this game. But yeah, honestly, for all the warnings they gave, this stage wasn't all that much more difficult than, say, any other stage. It was a little bit trickier because of the map layout, but yeah, not that big of a threat. And every now and then you do want to just use the Monocotti simply because it's more effective at taking an enemy in one go, and that's sometimes really valuable. Like in this game, okay, so you just waste a lot of time if it isn't doing that. Flux has no effect on Florida, and that's how you know it sucks. I actually do think dark magic is like the least powerful magic in the game. It's weird like that. I guess because sometimes they have special bonuses like draining health or something like that. But still. I'm closing in. No, I couldn't sing music. Man, look how long this thing has taken to take out. Like, seriously. Will to the rescue! And it's finally dead. All it took was the combined effort of 3 people. Yay, Florida's gonna do something! Ooh, and a critical hit even. I guess this has actually got me to use more vulneraries than any other point in the game, but that's not really much of an achievement. Man, now just drag everyone all in here and take out the boss. A surprisingly non-evil looking boss for one of the most evil sounding things ever. I don't actually know if those stairs give any sort of bonus in combat. I don't know. Okay, the consequences are 2 what? 2 getting stabbed by a sacred sword so you die instantly and then nothing else happens? I guess you go to whatever... I don't know, there's what, the El Mine, or I guess they're probably not Spanish, but there's the El Mine government or something like that. The religion here, what is that? What is the ramifications of death in this universe? I don't even know. Yay, boss EXP! And with that, ooh, Florida even leveled up, you know, made her slightly less terrible. How less terrible? Let's find out next time.